Hello friends, let's discuss current affairs. Here's today's first question. Have book and pen ready? Write as much as you can. So let me also check. Yes. Which of the following nations will participate in the France-led naval drill exercise named La Perouse? Well, all of the above. Actually, if you would look at these four countries, all four are members of the Quad. These are all members of the Quad. Quadrilateral security dialogue. Now, France has come in and it wants to, of course, it's not a part of the Quad, but it is what is called, it wants to become a part of what is called Quad Plus. So, if they would extend this, it would include France and Britain. Because Britain recently came out with a security doctrine that, says that our new security region of focus would be the Indo-Pacific, which would be the Indian Ocean and the Pacific Ocean, both. And if you look at what is France's interest, well, France has got a lot of interest in this region for certain specific things. I would want you to write this, okay, and then I will take you to a couple of maps that I have collected for this particular discussion. Please write. Let's start with France. Underline that one first point. Only European nation to have territories in both the Indian and Pacific Oceans. In both the place, large water bodies. The Pacific is the largest water body in the world, and the Indian Ocean is the third largest ocean, the second being Atlantic Ocean. So France is the only European country to have colonies in both the Indian Ocean as well as the Pacific Ocean. Next point. Colonies or territories in the Indian Ocean include Reunion Islands, okay, and Mayotte Islands. There are more scattered islands and all, but a couple of them are enough. Next, territories in the Pacific Ocean include French Polynesia, then, and you could write, and Wallis, okay, Wallis, and I write it here itself, Futuna. Wallis and Futuna. This is a small set of island, in the Pacific Ocean. Wallis and Futuna. In fact, they also own Clipperton Islands. Clipperton. Don't worry too much. I mean, these kinds of names are not very familiar to us in India. And even though we could be preparing for, even while we are preparing for really seriously competitive exams, they wouldn't really ask you which of the following is not a French territory in the Indian Ocean. I'm sharing this for fun and learning, of course, so that you will be that much more comfortable, in learning more about these places. So, territories in the Pacific Ocean include French Polynesia and Wallis and Futuna. Next point. French overseas territories. French overseas means beyond the European landmass, French landmass. French overseas territories have 1.6 million French citizens. Yes. 1.6 million French citizens. last point. France treats India as its foremost strategic partner in Asia. Foremost strategic partner in Asia. Okay. So France has a very different worldview. It's not a great power. Of course, it once was a very powerful colonial power, but of late, countries like China have overtaken France. So China and India also has a great deal of, what we say, moral authority. China doesn't have moral authority. China has the economic muscle, the military muscle, but India has a soft power. And I'm not exaggerating when I say this. I'm not going beyond this. Let me tell you where you would find. This is Oceania. This is the southern Pacific Ocean off the coast of Australia. And of course, you see this is Australia here. And you see this is New Zealand. Two major islands in New Zealand. North Island. This is the NI, North Island. This is the southern island. Of course, it owns a lot of other islands as well. Look at this. This particular part here, it owns it owns Chatham Islands here and Auckland Islands. Let me take you further on this. Now we were discussing France. You look at this, Wallis and Futuna, it is here. You see FR in brackets? Yeah, FR is France. It also owns New Caledonia. We discussed this a while ago. New Caledonia, this set of islands. AU relates to Australia, so Coral Sea Islands territory. You have New Norfolk, 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 Lord Howe. These are all owned by Australia. Fair. Now you look at this is American Samoa. It's a part of the United States. Then New Zealand also owns this Tokelau. This is New Zealand. This is a small place called Niue, Niue, Niue. That's owned by New Zealand. Yeah. This Pitcairn Island is a British overseas territory, which is one of the most remotest places. I mean, it has a small British population, but very small. Okay. At one point, it was very remote, but now because of aviation and everything, flights from New Zealand fly once or twice a week to Pitcairn Islands. That's about it. You see, this plenty of stuff you can learn, my friends. See, I want to tell you more. See, this is all Indonesia, and this island you see here, let me bring to you, not this one, let me just clear this once again. Okay, you see this island here, this island here, this one in, I am sure that this is the right thing. This island you see here, this is called the New Guinea Island. New Guinea Island, the westernmost portion of this country. You see this in white here. This is Indonesia. It belongs to Indonesia. The eastern part of this island is a separate country called the Papua New Guinea. This is a Papua New Guinea. Okay, and Papua New Guinea has this place called Bougainville. This place, like let me write here, recently declared independence from Papua New Guinea. If they would ask you from which country did the island of Bougainville declare independence, you would tell them, well, Papua New Guinea. That's the answer. Okay? It's a lot to learn. If you just look up a map, you can learn a lot of good things. This is huge, Australia. You see, these are all straight lines because there's hardly any population and almost no European power except the Brits had come down to occupy this place, and that's why they didn't fight. They had no one to fight against. It is very large. Australia is 76 lakh square kilometer big. Yeah, and population is hardly 2.4 crore. You can understand that's twice more than India's area, but population, well, just a little over 1% of India's population. Yeah. So I just wanted to bring to you a few things about why the French are looking at the Indian Ocean, and of course, they're looking at the past a question as a new security from the security point of view, because the Chinese are pushing themselves further into this area. China is here, this is Philippines. China claims these islands all claimed by China. So it won't be far. See, if China could claim this, how far will this be, from French territories? So there is always this worry. And from the security point of view, all the countries in this region are seriously worried about China's intentions. And just that I mentioned this New Guinea island, if I'm not wrong, it is the second biggest island in the world. It's the second biggest island in the world, the entire island. Okay, the largest is Greenland. We don't look at Australia as an island per se, we look at it as a continent. But if you look at among islands, Greenland is the largest, second largest would be New Guinea, third would be this place. You see this area? This is massive island. This island is called Borneo, the third biggest island in the world. Okay. Now I'm sure that most of you would not be sitting just for bank exams, but you could as well be sitting, for a lot of exams like SSC and all, which might have geography-based stuff. So just to bring you a little about this is the island of Borneo. Okay, that island is Borneo. Now the southern part is Indonesia. You see this boundary line below this part. This is all Indonesia. This part is Malaysia. This upper part. But within this, you see this here, this small stretch here. This one. I just color this. Okay, this colored portion. That, ladies and gentlemen, is the country of Brunei. It's a small kingdom. It's an Islamic kingdom. Okay, the king here is Muda Hassan al Wadullah Bolkiah. Well, I first read his name in 1987, and I bet he hasn't. I mean, it's the same guy. He's been running this country with an iron fist. Okay, guys. So, ladies and gentlemen, I just wanted to bring you a little about the these places, and one more map here. This is the Indonesian rim, yeah, and we just saw these places and all that. You see, this is this is owned by France. Okay, you see this is Reunion Islands here. This is Reunion Islands, and this is again, the map is not so clear, ladies, but I think I can. Shall I manage to? I mean, I'll just bring this in. Let me discard this, and let me just cut this so that you will be that much more comfortable. We can do this on right here. I don't think that will be a we need to worry too much about this. So let me bring to you a few islands here so that you become that much more comfortable. I mean, it's all about learning, and you don't have to remember everything, but you need to become familiar. You see, this is, yes, ladies and gentlemen, I could have brought this, but I wanted to show you the whole of Indonesia. This is Reunion Islands. You see this? Yeah. This is Gloriomo, and you have Trommelin Island here. Mayotte here. This is Mayotte. Okay, this is Mayotte. All are owned by France. This. Okay, and this Madagascar is the fourth biggest island in the world. It's the biggest. I think it's the biggest producer of vanilla as well. So you see this French southern and Antarctic lands. These are all owned by France. This is a part of extended, portion of what we say Antarctica, and this is claimed by France. So, just to bring in a little, France's president is Emmanuel Macron. And the capital is Paris, yeah, and the currency is euro. So, ladies and gentlemen, that's a little about this. Let's go past this. Oh boy. India's first Indo-Korean Friendship Park was recently jointly inaugurated in New Delhi. Okay, now I just want to bring in a few things here. North Korea, South Korea. You would know that South Korea is south of North Korea, and North Korea has two boundaries, land boundaries. Three. In fact, on its south is South Korea. On its north are two countries. One, we have a very long boundary with China. This is all China here, and this, ladies and gentlemen, here it's, you know, Russia. This is all Russia. Okay, and remember this. This is the only ice-free port in Russia. Its name is Vladivostok. Vladivostok. A train starts from here. It goes to Moscow and then up St. Petersburg. It takes about 8 hours, 8 days, 5 hours, something like that. Very long distance. Yeah. So I would want to, you know, when we say Indo-Korean Park, remember it's always South Korea. It's never North Korea. Okay. And to discuss South Korea, my friends, you know, South Korea and India became independent the same day, in fact, but in a different year, of course. You know, 15th of August 1948, independence. Coming to its capital, you have Seoul. It's pronounced with an E that's silent. Okay, Seoul, and the president is Moon Jae-in. Moon Jae-in, that's the president. Next, currency. Well, would you want to know this? Well, you could as well add this won, W-O-N, won. Okay, this is Mongolia, the second biggest landlocked country in the world. The biggest is the one on its left, on its west actually. Kazakhstan. This is the second biggest landlocked country in the world. This is all China. This is the Manchuria region of China. This Japan comprises more than 6,000 islands, but 4 are pretty big. You have, you know, Hokkaido, Kyushu, Honshu, and Shikoku. This is Honshu Island, pretty large island here. Okay. So South, you know, when you find a boundary, for example, Japan is an island country, but it shares maritime boundaries with, you know, Russia, North Korea, South Korea, China, Taiwan. These are called maritime boundaries. Okay, and you see this. These are Kuril Islands. You know, this set of islands, this extended one. But this island is also called Kuril, and they are claimed by China, but during the Second World War were occupied by the USSR. So today they are occupied by Russia. Russia says they are ours, but you know, when we look at Japan's claim, well, they say they are ours. They've been fighting over this. That's about it, guys. Let's go past this and let's have a look at a few more things. Okay, and just before that, we can add a couple of things into Bhopal. Bhopal, my friends, is home to the, you know, what we say, the Indian Institute of Forest Management. The Indian Institute of Forest Management. Okay, the Indian Institute of Forest Management. You could also write second master control facility of ISRO. Second master control facility of ISRO. The first one is at Hassan in Karnataka, but this is the second one, and this is the second one. Okay, there we go. Pretty good stuff. In which of the following areas has India recently signed an MOU? When you write in short, "and" should come. Okay, an article like "and" should come, MOU. But when you write in full, memorandum of understanding, you can say signed a memorandum of association, memorandum of understanding in this case with Bangladesh. Well, recently Prime Minister of India was here, and you know, we kind of have had a lot of agreements with Bangladesh, and all of them. Not much to discuss, except that Bangladesh was called East Pakistan between 1947 and 71. Okay, then yeah, I guess that's about it. Sheikh Hasina is the Prime Minister. Abdul Hamid is the President. Yeah, I think, yeah. Sheikh Hasina is the PM, and Abdul Hamid is the President, and the currency is Taka or Taka. while the capital is, Dhaka, one of the most populous cities in the world. Okay, there we go, guys. And with Bangladesh, we share our longest boundary. India's longest external boundary is with Bangladesh, and if I'm not wrong, it is 40-60 kilometers. 40-60 kilometers. An engineering project built as the world's first ship tunnel is slated for construction in, well, that's it, Norway. Okay, I looked it up and I found this to be pretty interesting. I would want you to write this. Just without grammar, write Norway dash, okay, world's first ship tunnel, right, world's first ship tunnel dash at Stardavet, at Stardavet. In some places you may find the spelling to be this. Depends on the source, of course. I have seen both actually. Yeah, you can write both. Stardavet in northwest Norway. In northwest Norway. Next. See, when ships pass through this is a very volatile region. It's a very extremely volatile region in terms of hurricanes and everything. So, and this is the narrowest point. What they have done is they are digging a canal below. They plan to dig. This is construction will start 2 years later, 2023. So they are going to dig a canal under this. This is how the canal will look. Yeah, and this is the place where you could walk. This is for walking, and this is both sides walking, and this is the canal. And how long will it be? 1.7 kilometers. 1.7 kilometers. You could write this. Norway dash 1.7 kilometer long. 1.7 kilometer long. Dash. Construction to start in 2023. Construction to start in 2023. Construction to start in 2023. So instead of going around, this entire region, through hurricanes and all, what they have done is they are simply digging a canal here under the, tunnel canal, and from here the boats would go instead of going around basically. Yeah, this is how the boat would be. So it's some engineering marvel actually. They require a lot of money. This is going to cost $330 million as of today. There could be cost overruns, and even if you budget for a little more cost run, 10% cost overrun, it still will come to about $370 million, which is not much, but could help save a lot of trouble basically. Norway, Oslo is the capital. Oslo is the capital, and it's a constitutional monarchy. There is a king here, but we could write the name of the prime minister. Erna Solberg. That's the prime minister. Erna Solberg. Erna Solberg. Erna Solberg. And the currency is krone. It's a member of the. It's not a member of the Eurozone. It's a member of the European Union, but not a member of the Eurozone. Okay, krone. It's not even a member of the European Union, if I'm not wrong. Yeah, it's not. Chaliye, aage chalte hain. Sweden. Shall we write about Sweden? Why not? The capital is Stockholm. It's a constitutional monarchy like Norway. There is a king here, Gustav, and the prime minister is Stephen Löfven. And the currency is krona. Krona. That's the currency. You could double check. Finland, it's a member of the Eurozone. Helsinki is the capital. The Prime Minister is Sanna Marin, the third youngest serving head of state in the world. Third youngest serving head of state. Okay. In the previous classes, I gave you the names of the two youngest. These are the third youngest. Youngest is the ruler of San Marino in Europe. Second is the Chancellor of Austria, again in Europe. And third one in France, again in Europe. Sanna Marin, the Prime Minister of Finland. She is about 34 years old. Currency is euro. Currency is euro. One last thing, one last country we could write about is Switzerland. Switzerland's, well, it has no capital. Switzerland does not have a capital, but officially, when it does not have capital, the government sits in this place called Bern, so it's taken to be the capital. And they have this wonderful system called Federal Council. It's a 7-member Federal Council, okay, and each member takes a turn to become the president of the country. For 2021, ladies and gentlemen, for 2021, it is Guy Parmelin. Guy Parmelin. That's president of Switzerland. The currency is franc. Okay, let's go. Which country conducted a successful test of the nuclear capable Shaheen 1A surface-to-surface missile with a range of 900 kilometers? SSM is surface-to-surface missile. Launched from surface to hit a target on surface. So when you say SAM, SAM, surface to air, launched from surface to hit a target in the air, that's SAM. This is SSM. It's like our Prithvi. So Pakistan has done this. Pakistan has a lot of different kinds of missiles. They have Gauri. Okay, this is a long range missile. They have M11. Okay, they also have Badr. Badr is an anti-tank missile. It's like our Nag. India's anti-tank missile is called Nag. N-A-G. Yeah. And funnily, Pakistan, when you look at Gauri, you look at Babar, there is another missile they have called Babar. You know, these are not Pakistani heroes. They were not born in Pakistan. They were born in today's Afghanistan. But Pakistan has never had its heroes, so it always borrows heroes of, other countries as its own, claims them as its own. That's the sad part. So, would you want to know about any of these countries here? I will not discuss the missiles. They're not really important. But yes, Turkey, pretty much in news these days for all the wrong reasons. Ankara is the capital. The president is an Islamist dictator, though he is elected. Recep Tayyip Erdogan is the president of Turkey, and the currency is lira. Oh, it's in a very bad shape. The economy of the country is in a very bad shape. Okay, lira. So, Iran we know, but anyway, let's repeat and revise. Tehran, the president is Hassan Rouhani. 1, 2, 3. Currency is real, and most likely they may change it to Tomam, but not definite, of course. In Iranian economy is in a very, very bad shape. Inflation is sky high. The value of the real has plunged. And if you look at the anagram RIAL, LIRA, same letters, both currencies are in a free fall. Okay. So 2 countries there, guys. Enough for learning over this. Let's go back. Which country recently announced finalized loans and grant totaling about little over $2 billion for several key infrastructure projects, including for the 4th phase of the Delhi Metro? Well, Japan. Japan from the very beginning has been lending a lot of money to India for this particular for building infrastructure projects. Now the most famous project, it is its funding is the bullet train project. Now that it's I just mentioned it, I'll bring in a little about this. The bullet train project is between Mumbai and Ahmedabad, Gandhinagar they say, which is an extension more or less of Ahmedabad. Okay, the distance is 508 kilometers. It is likely to have 12 stops. Initially their plan was to have 2 stops, Surat and Baroda, but then in India everything goes differently, on the ground. So 12 stops, and this is likely to cost 1.1 lakh crore rupees. Okay, but of this 88,000 crore would come in as a loan from Japan. Okay, this will be at an interest of 0.1%. The tenure is 50 years, and the first 15 years would be a moratorium. Okay, guys, first 15 years will be no payment has to be made. Will have to be made in the first 15 years. Pretty cheap loan and inexpensive, considering that it's a bullet train project. But some other time I'll tell you more about this, not today. Okay, maybe in the next session I'll bring in a little about this. Which bank was adjudged India's best bank for small and medium enterprise? Small and medium enterprises at the Asia Money Best Bank Awards 2021. These are magazines. Okay, every year they come out with this list of best bank awards, and this year's best bank for SMEs, has gone to HDFC Bank. HDFC Bank. So I'm going to give you a list of some more of these awards. Just write Asia Money Best Bank Awards. Asia Money Best Bank Awards. Okay. So first point, right? Best domestic bank. Kotak Mahindra, choice 5. Kotak Mahindra. Next, best corporate and investment bank. Best corporate and investment bank, again Kotak Mahindra or Kotak Mahindra. The actual pronunciation is Kotak, but many people say Kotak, so I also learned to say Kotak. It's Kotak Mahindra. It's a surname actually. Kotak Mahindra. Next, best international bank. DBS Bank. It's not mentioned here. DBS Bank. Best international bank, DBS Bank. You can write in brackets. Acquired recently, the government of India merged Lakshmi Vilas Bank. Acquired Lakshmi Vilas Bank. Next, best digital bank. Axis Bank. Look at choice 2. Axis, AXIS, Axis Bank. Best digital bank, Axis Bank. Next, best bank for corporate social responsibility. Best bank for corporate social responsibility. The bank is RBL Bank. Corporate social responsibility, RBL. Next, last one. Best bank for SMEs. You write that in the question. What's there in the questions? I guess that's sufficient here. India's Minister of External Affairs, Subramaniam Jaishankar, will attend the 9th Ministerial Conference of the Heart of Asia, Istanbul process in Dushanbe, the capital of Tajikistan. The capital of Tajikistan. And now I realize I didn't put a map to tell you all this. Where are these countries? But anyway, it doesn't matter. Maybe in the next session I'll bring in them. Istanbul is the largest city in Turkey. Dushanbe is the capital of Tajikistan. And a little about Tajikistan, you could write. The capital is Dushanbe. The capital is Dushanbe. The president is Imomali Rahmon. Imomali Rahmon. Imomali Rahmon. And the currency is Somoni. Somoni. Currency is Somoni. Maybe one more country. Shall we bring in 2 more countries? Yes, we could bring in 2 more countries. So, what do we bring in? Uzbekistan or Kyrgyzstan? Kyrgyzstan will go to. Okay. So, Bishkek. Bishkek, that's the capital of Kyrgyzstan, and the president is this guy called Sadir Japarov. You know, when you have these words ending in V, it's pronounced with an F. Japarov. Sadir Zaporov. Okay, that's the president. That's a president. And the currency is Som. Currency is Som. So capital is Bishkek. Sadir Zaporov is the president, and the currency of Kyrgyzstan is Som. Okay, maybe we could discuss one more country, Turkmenistan. Just one more. Turkmenistan. Ashgabat. Ashgabat is the capital. It's in one corner of the country. It's right above Afghanistan. And next to it, east of Turkmenistan is Tajikistan. Above Tajikistan is Kyrgyzstan. Okay, yeah. To the west of Kyrgyzstan, Kyrgyzstan, and above Uzbekistan, above Turkmenistan, you would find Uzbekistan. So it's very easy to know. Kazakhstan, Kyrgyzstan, okay, Tajikistan, Turkmenistan, Uzbekistan. That's how you would just look up there. You look up on the map, you will find this. This is the way they are. And you will find this is Afghanistan, and Afghanistan, there is a short stretch with boundary with India, 108 kilometers here. This is India, and then you will find Tajikistan. Okay? Now let's go to Turkmenistan. The president is this dictator called Gurbanguly. Berdi Muhammadov. Some places you will find Mukha Medov like this. It's okay, one and the same. Okay, I mean, you don't really have to worry about all these things. The currency that Gurbanguly Berdi Muhammadov earns his salary is in Manat. Okay. As you know, he is India's ex-foreign secretary and Indian Foreign Service officer, now India's foreign minister. You could saw he is a a hawk, H-A-W-K. He is not a guy who's lenient. He is not someone who is soft. He speaks soft, but he acts very hard, which is important. Which Indian biopharmaceutical company has acquired a partnership with Brazilian firm Lips Pharmaceutica to unveil drugs in Brazil, the world's 6th most populous country and one of the most COVID impacted countries in the world? Well, the answer is Biocon. Biocon's CEO is this lady named Kiran Majumdar Shaw. Kiran Majumdar. And Torrent Pharma, Ahmedabad based Torrent Pharma, it's Sudhir Mehta. It's a very big company. It's a little over 20,000 crore company. Sudhir Mehta, Torrent Pharmaceuticals, Sudhir Mehta. Okay. Biological Evans is a Hyderabad based company. It's just a few kilometers away from, in fact, 3 kilometers away from where I'm seated. Okay. Mahima Datla. Mahima Datla. Serum Institute, you already know. Adar Poonawala. Adar Poonawala. Bharat Biotech, Krishna Ella. Krishna Ella. Krishna Ella. Okay. Brazil, to just bring you Brazil, a couple of things about Brazil. The capital is Brasilia. The president is Jair Bolsonaro. Jair Bolsonaro is the president. The currency is real or real. 6th most populous country in the world. 5th biggest country by area. 5th biggest by area. Okay. Next. The winner of the 2021 Bahrain Grand Prix till now, as of now, today, one day before the session, only Bahrain Grand Prix has happened, and this is the one, I think it's the only one that has happened till now. 2021 Bahrain Formula 1 Grand Prix. Grand. You pronounce this as Grand. Okay. Prix is prize. Grand Prix, or basically Grand Prize. Okay. So this was won by Lewis Hamilton, 7-time world champion. And ladies and gentlemen, let's write a couple of things about him. He is from Britain, and he drives a Mercedes. His team's name is Mercedes. How do you say that? Mercedes. Okay, Mercedes. And coming to Max, he stood second in this. This is 1, 2, 3. Top 3 podium finish. Okay, top 3 in that. What we say, top 3 in the rank, order, winnings actually. So podium finish, these top 3 guys. Max Verstappen is from Netherlands. And his team's name is Red Bull Racing, where the engine and everything is from Honda. Red Bull Racing from Honda. Okay. Valtteri Bottas, he is from Finland, and he also drives a Mercedes Merc. Okay, ladies and gentlemen, enough. Top 3 is enough for us. Mahendra Giri, a forest range officer of the Rajaji Tiger Reserve, has become the only Asian ranger to win the prestigious International Ranger Award for his contribution towards conservation. This award was created by all of them. So I'm not going to discuss this, but I'm only going to tell you a couple of things. That's it. Rajaji Tiger Reserve is in Uttarakhand. It's in Uttarakhand, which is the second tiger reserve, because the first one, as you know, is the Corbett National Park, Corbett Tiger Reserve, which is also India's first national park. So Rajaji Tiger Reserve spread over 820 square kilometers. 820 square kilometers. This is named after the great freedom fighter Chakravarti Rajagopalachari. Rajaji it's called, after the great freedom fighter Chakravarti Rajagopalachari, the founder of the Swatantra Party and the first Indian Governor General of independent India. There were two Governor Generals of independent India. One was Mountbatten and the second one was Rajagopalachari ji. Okay, so, and he was also the one of the first three recipients of the inaugural Bharat Ratna. The Bharat Ratna was given in 1954. First given in 1954. Three, recipients it had. Rajaji, then Ramanji, Chandrasekhara Venkat Ramanji, and then we have had Sarvepalli Radhakrishnan ji, who later became the first vice president and then the president of India, second president of India. Okay, that's about it. Which country has topped the medals table at the International Shooting Federation World Cup with a whopping 30 medals in total? Well. There were 30 gold medals in the fray. 30 medals. Okay, these are 30 medals that India won. But actually there were 30 gold medals, of which India won 15. Can you beat that? That's a huge number. 50% of the gold medals in shooting were won by India. Okay, would you want to know the top three teams? Let me bring these top three, maybe. Yes. One, if I'm not wrong, was India. Okay, you could write this. 15 gold. It's mentioned there. Why worry? 2, Russia. Second was Russia. If I'm not wrong, Russia was there. 5 golds. 5 golds, dash, total 9, 3 silver and 1 bronze were also there, but enough here. 5 golds, total 9, 3 United States, 4 golds, total 8. Total 8. See, they both won 3 silvers each and 1 bronze each. 3 silvers and 1 bronze each. But Russia had 5 golds. That's about it. And where was this held? This was held in New Delhi. New Delhi. That's about it. India's 4th parliamentary election in a span of 2 years failed once again to produce a clear winner. What is the official name of Israel's parliament? So Israel's 4th parliamentary election, yes, they have had multiple elections. They have always had this because the country is sharply divided between, the rightists, people who are radicals actually, in the sense that they are quite orthodox and they do not want to give us an inch of their land to the Arabs, Palestinian Muslims. While in the center and left are those socialist and moderates, you would say. They are also radical in their own view. They say that there should be peace, but the Orthodox say there should be peace, but not at the cost of our land. That's how it is. Yeah. So, in any case, let me tell you a little about this country called Israel. Okay, this is Israel. This is Israel. This is Pakistan, and on its east is India. You could look at this. Okay. That's how it is. The shortest road is this. Fair? So, let's go this. Israel. Established 1948. Established 1948. World's only Jewish state. World's only Jewish state. World's only Jewish state. Jews practice the religion of Judaism. Okay, yeah. World's only Jewish state. Next, capital Jerusalem. They say it's Jerusalem, but it's not officially recognized by many countries in the world except for a few like the United States. Okay, so Jerusalem, and you could write Tel Aviv. Two capitals you could write, Jerusalem and Tel Aviv. Jerusalem and Tel Aviv. Then Prime Minister Benjamin, or you may also find Benjamin, which is a Jewish way of writing, the Hebrew way. Benjamin Netanyahu is the Prime Minister. Then okay, the president, if you would want to write, president is Reuven. Sometimes the psychological law. Rivlin. Reuven Rivlin. The currency is new shekel. New shekel, and the parliament is called Knesset. The K is pronounced Knesset. K is pronounced Knesset. Let's go back. Let's look at whose parliaments are these. Duma. See, Duma is the lower house of Russian parliament. Russian parliament. Russian parliament. Okay, Duma is the lower house. If you want to know the upper house is called Federation Council. Federation Council. See, in India, we have the parliament, or the highest legislative or law-making body, legislature, at the center. The lower house is called Lok Sabha, House of Representatives, and upper house is called Rajya Sabha, Council of Elders or Council of States. In the case of Russia, the Russian parliament is bicameral, two houses, just like India's. The lower house is called Duma. It's called Duma. And the upper house is called Federation Council. Okay, Federation Council. Now coming to a little more here, you see, I found it very weird that National Assembly is a term used by a lot of countries like Afghanistan, Armenia, even an East European country called Bulgaria. Bulgaria. That's the name of the parliament. Okay, Bulgaria, Armenia. Okay. Congress is typically used by the US, Colombia. Again, Colombia is in South America. Then there is this place called Paraguay. Knesset we mentioned. Okay, diet. Well, since childhood I have always looked at diet as the name of the Japanese parliament. It's actually surprisingly not just Japan, but a couple of other places that also have diet as the, the name of the legislature. So Japanese parliament, you could write Japanese parliament. First you write this, Japanese parliament. Okay. It's bicameral, two houses. House of Representatives. House of Representatives, which is the lower house, of course. House of Representatives, lower house. Then House of Councillors, upper house. So the Japanese parliament is called Diet, D-I-E-T. The lower house is called House of Representatives, The upper house is called House of Councillors. Next, this is also the name of the lower house of German Parliament. Lower house of German Parliament called Bundestag. Bundestag. And should you know, I don't know whether you should know this, but चलो मैं एक और बोलता हूँ. While this is the name of the lower house of the German Parliament, okay, you don't need to know upper house. One more thing, there is this country called Liechtenstein in a center of Europe, okay. This country's parliament is unicameral. There is only one house. That is a Diet. Okay, so Diet is the name of, you can associate with 3 different countries. The lower house of Germany, okay, Germany's parliament, Bundestag. It's called Bundestag Diet. That's a full name, Bundestag Diet. The single house Liechtenstein parliament called Diet. Then the lower house of the Japanese parliament, okay, the name of the Japanese parliament, Diet, which has 2 houses, House of Representatives, which is the lower house, House of Councillors, which is the upper house. So much to learn, isn't it? And when I look at diet, it's all about diet, khana vagara, or diet coke. People eat, burger with extra cheese and then drink diet coke. Well, that's people. Which country has successfully launched 38 foreign satellites into orbit on board Soyuz 2.1A carrier rocket from the Baikonur Cosmodrome in Kazakhstan? See, when the Soviet Union existed in 1922 and 1991, most of their space launch vehicles, space facilities were in a province called Kazakhstan. 91, the country broke up. Soviet Union broke up. Kazakhstan became an independent country. And Russia, while it had the scientists, it had the money, it had the technology, it didn't have a launch center because it was in some other country, Kazakhstan. But that's how the world is. That is what artificial boundaries do. In any case, ladies and gentlemen, I just want to tell you that this is in Kazakhstan. A while ago we came across Kazakhstan, so I'm not going to discuss Kazakhstan now. 38 foreign satellites into orbit. Well, I can tell you one thing. Of these 38 foreign satellites, there was one satellite called, I think it was called Champion something. I don't exactly know the name of the name. It was called Challenge, not Champion. These 38 satellites included one Challenge 1, a Tunisian or a homemade satellite, first homemade satellite of Tunisia. There is this country in Africa, northernmost country in Africa called Tunisia. Okay, it's a very tiny country, but it's the most northern on the continent. So the local university there built a satellite Challenge 1, and it is one of those things that went up this rocket carriers. Amazing. So चलिए मैं एक बात बताऊँ आपको. Anyway, I'm not really greatly interested in Kazakhstan, but I still will tell you about Kazakhstan. Okay, so Kazakhstan's capital is Nur Sultan. It's also the name of the ex-president Nur Sultan Nazarbayev. This is a capital. Okay, the president is Kasim Jamaat Tokayev. That's the president. And the currency is tenge. Currency is tenge. Okay? I think that should be fine. Yeah. Tenge. So Kazakhstan, I told you, is the largest landlocked country in the world, and it would be the 9th largest country in the world by area. 9th largest. 7th is India, 8th is Argentina, 9th is Kazakhstan. Okay? Whose term as the principal scientific advisor of the government of India has recently been extended by 1 year? K. Vijay Raghavan. It's there. K. Vijay Raghavan. So, Bhairappa, Nagappa Suresh is the Chancellor of the Indian Institute of Space Science and Technology. You could write this. Indian Institute of Space Science and Technology. Indian Institute of Space Science and Technology, Trivandrum or Thiruvananthapuram. Thiruvananthapuram. B. N. Suresh. G. Satish Reddy is the chairman of the Defence Research and Development Organization. Defence Research and Development Organization. A.S. Kiran Kumar, look at choice 1. He is the ex-chairman of ISRO and currently a distinguished professor at IIT Bhilai. That's enough. Ex-chairman of ISRO. Current chairman of ISRO, Kailas Vadivu Shivan. ISRO. Current chairman. India's first company to buy oil from Guyana is HPCL Mittal Energy, in short called HMEL. What is it called? HMEL. It's a joint venture. You could write this. HMEL JV between HPCL, Hindustan Petroleum Corporation is a government of India company, and Mittal Energy, which is a private company owned by Lakshmi Nivas Mittal, one of the richest Indians in the world, who is also the owner of this steel company, the biggest steel maker in the world, ArcelorMittal. So Mittal Energy and HPCL joint venture, HMEL. Okay? So they have bought oil from Guyana. Now Guyana is in South America, next to Venezuela. Now why did we have to go buy this? But before that, HMEL owns one refinery called Bhatinda Refinery. What is it called? Bhatinda Refinery in Punjab. Bhatinda Refinery in Punjab. Okay? We had been buying a lot of oil and gas, especially oil from Venezuela till about last year. But the American government imposed serious, strict sanctions against Venezuela and told us you cannot buy stuff from Venezuela. So if you would buy, we will have to impose sanctions on your companies as well. We will stop them from accessing American markets. Now America is important to us, not Venezuela. And Venezuela, my friends, is home to the largest petroleum reserves in the world. Venezuela has the world's largest petroleum reserves. Okay, so guys, something more here is that next to Venezuela is this tiny country called Guyana. So they have oil and gas, so we are buying from them. We are buying from them now. We just started buying from them, but we are looking at alternate sources as well, because we are also. Why are we looking at alternate sources? I'll give you some dope on this. India is the third largest energy consumer in the world. third largest energy consumer in the world. Third largest oil importer. The largest is China. Second is United States. Third is India. Okay. So third largest oil importer. Now we always found it very tough, my friends, to be able to source, because 82% net, okay, 82% of our energy needs are imported. So that makes it quite tough. If we don't import enough, we don't have enough supply, then our economy would grind to a halt. So what we have been doing is to source, if not from Venezuela, from where? So this time we went to Guyana. And another reason why, see, we can't buy from Iran because there are sanctions. Major supplier was Iran. 13% of our energy, oil needs came from Iran. Then Venezuela, we cannot buy from Venezuela. So these two are gone. So now we are looking at alternate sources, and another reason why we are looking at alternate sources is that there is this group called OPEC Plus, Organization of Petroleum Exporting Countries. Organization of Petroleum Exporting Countries. OPEC Plus includes Russia. Russia is not a member of OPEC, but when you say plus, OPEC plus other producers of petroleum. So they all have refused to listen to India to cut, to increase production. What they have been doing in recent times is to cut production. By cutting production, they are trying to create scarcity. By creating scarcity of crude, oil and all, they are increasing the price. This is the major reason. See, if oil becomes expensive, then our everything in India becomes expensive, because everything moves around on oil. So now we are looking at alternate supplies. We've been going to Angola, Libya, we've been going to Nigeria, now Guyana. We think about all these things. So we are not really bothered about where we buy from, as long as we buy it. See, those countries like the UAE, Saudi Arabia and all, they need us. We need them. But it cannot be a one-way street. That they keep on cutting prices, cutting production and increase the prices, and we pay through our nose to fill their hundis. That doesn't work, my friends. It's a two-way street. You give some, you take some. But that's not happening here in this case. So in any case, I just wanted to tell you a few things there. I love discussing these things, strategic affairs. Last 25 years of my life, more than that, in fact, I've been studying these things. I don't get to teach this stuff, so when I get a chance, I bring in a few things. Okay. So, the CEO of this company, HMEL, is Prabdas. Here is the CEO. GAIL is Manoj Jain. Reliance Petroleum, you would know Mukesh Dhirubhai Ambani. Okay, Mukesh Ambani. And what is this? IOCL. Indian Oil Corporation, India's largest public sector company, is Shrikant Vaidya Madhav. Madhav Vaidya. 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 I think that should be fine, yeah. What do you need about oil? Oil India. Oil is Oil India Limited. Okay, that name suits, right? It brings in. It is Sushil Chandra Mishra. Sushil Chandra Mishra. Bihar is said to become India's first state to have two green energy efficient towns. These towns are Rajgir and Bodh Gaya. They're going to generate electricity through solar power. Solar power. So, and this will be a 500 megawatt power project. So, you know, they will generate, they will be able to meet the town's needs through solar energy. That's the idea. That's why green energy efficient towns. Okay. Just to bring in, this is Hajipur, railway zone headquarters, East Central. East Central, I just saw it now on the screen. East Central Railway Zone, head office, headquarters, Hajipur. You know this Buxar, the Battle of Buxar, 1764. Yeah. History is fascinating. Which institution has published a report titled World Development Report 2021 Data for Better Lives? Data is seriously important. All the numbers that we took is all data. Data is the thing for, you know, to be able to understand, to be able to, what we say, to be able to make sense of things, the world around. Okay. So, well, of course, the World Bank brings this out, and I'll just tell you, head office, and if not head office, just the chiefs of these organizations, not head office. So we've been taking a lot of notes. David Malpass is the president of the World Bank Group. David Malpass. Okay. World Trade Organization. What's her name recently? Ngozi. Ngozi Okonjo Iweala. She, ladies and gentlemen, is from Nigeria. This guy is from the US. Ngozi Okonjo Iweala. IMF Kristalina Georgieva. Kristalina Georgieva. Kristalina Georgieva. I think I made an error there. Georgieva. She's from Bulgaria. Bulgaria has come in twice today. The president, the parliament will discuss. Okay, Kristalina Georgieva, and New Development Bank based in Shanghai, which is headed by Marcos Troizo, and he is from Brazil. Yeah. IMO, International Maritime Organization. International Maritime Organization, and this is headed by Kitak Lim. Kitak Lim is from South Korea. He's from South Korea. Okay. Chaliye. Enough here. Interest rate for ways, means, advances is currently charged at repo rate. So what is ways and means advances? Please write. Ways and means advances. I think in the end of the class we will spend the last 15 minutes on this very important stuff. You know, ways and means advances. Please write. Ways and means advances. Underline that, first point. Underline that. We'll try to define it and then take more data about this. First point, facility for both the central and state governments, to borrow from the RBI to tide over, T-I-D, tide over, to tide over temporary mismatches Head over temporary mismatches. In cash flow, between revenues and expenditures. Next, the maximum period of loan is 3 months. 3 mahine. So they can borrow from the RBI for maximum of 3 months. Next, interest rate is at repo rate, REPO, repo rate. Full stop. Last point. In case of overdraft, they can overdraw, but there is a penalty for that. In case of overdraft, interest rate is 2% above repo rate. Interest rate is 2% above repo rate. Above repo rate. Okay. Above repo rate. Full stop. Last point. For H1 dash, if you don't know what is H1, first half of the financial year, I think the P is missing. I'll just clear this. Oh boy, so many things are happening. For H1, April to September 2020, the central government was given a WMA facility, means they could borrow from the RBI, was given a WMA facility of rupees 1.25 lakh crore, 1.25 lakh crore, and while it was rupees 1.2 lakh crore for H2, second half of the year, H2. Okay, full stop. So if there is a temporary mismatch, government doesn't have enough money, what can it do? It can borrow from the RBI. What will be the interest rate charge? Repo rate. In case it's beyond 3 months, beyond the limit it has, beyond the sanctioned limit there, it could be, repo rate plus 2%. There's always a penalty for bad financial behavior. So, I want you to write more. Right, repo rate. If you're not greatly familiar with what's repo rate, I'm sure that most of you, in fact, everyone here would know what is repo rate. Right, repo rate dash rate of interest charged on rate of interest charged on short-term loans, on short-term loans charged on short-term loans from the RBI to commercial banks, from the RBI to commercial banks, from the RBI to commercial banks. Full stop. I'll give you a table of the current, you can write current rates, repo rate, you write like this, repo rate 4%. When I say current, so as of, what would be today? 5th April 2021, okay. Current rates as of 5th April 2021. Repo rate 4%. Next, reverse repo 3.35%. 3.35%. Next, bank rate, BANK, bank rate 4.25%. 4.25%. Next, 25%. Next, I think this is sufficient. This should be sufficient. Full stop. Leave it. Okay. Bank rate is the rate of interest charged by the RBI on long-term loans, more than a year loans. That's it. So I'll tell you one more thing here, or maybe we'll just leave it for the next session so that we can bring in more things. See, I'll bring in things about these two in the next session. Okay. This is the full forms. You can write the full forms now. Mumbai interbank offer rate. I'll give you all the references in the next session. Mumbai interbank offer rate. Next, this one is London interbank offer rate. London interbank offer rate. Next, MCLR, choice 3. MCLR is marginal cost of funds, I'll write it here, cost of funds based lending rate. Okay, last one, MSF, marginal standing facility. Marginal standing facility. Okay, marginal standing facility. Next, which institution has developed a composite digital payments index to capture the extent of digitization of payments across the country? The Reserve Bank of India. Almost everything is digital payment these days. Not exactly, cash is king, but it's still growing. I mean, the incidence of people using electronic money, electronic means to be able to, affect transactions, purchase, sale, and all that stuff is still, while at the nascent stage, it's still taking off in a very big way. It's a good thing that people carry pretty little cash and use electronic mediums for this. So the RBI is doing to the, its own bit to spread digitization. So RBI, okay, we know. NABARD, we know. I think we discussed in the last session. We had discussed all these organizations in the last session. But anyway, just to bring in NABARD, 1982, National Bank for Agriculture and Rural Development, National Bank for Agriculture and Rural Development. I repeat, National Bank for Agriculture and Rural Development. Okay. National Bank for Agriculture and Rural Development, established 1982, and Mumbai is where the head office is, and the chairman is this guy called Chintala Govindarajalu. Chintala Govindarajalu. Next. Dash is a amount the policyholder gets from the life insurance company if the policyholder decides to exit the policy before its maturity, surrender value. See, let's say I have a policy, an insurance policy. No, it's a 20-year policy. I'm not able to pay the premiums. I don't see value coming out of the policy. So what? And especially it's an endowment policy, okay, or money back policies. What I can do is I can tell the insurance company that I want to surrender this. I want to take back my money and everything. They won't give me the exact money. So, but I mean, there is a particular value they calculate. That value is called surrender value. You know, you surrender the policy, get your money back. Is surrender value. Okay, but it's always good to not to exit a policy. The insurance is very important, and especially important if it's risk insurance. You know, it's all about what might happen. One should try to avoid taking money back, or endowment policy should focus on mostly term insurance plan, because this is at a smaller price, a smaller cost of premium, you could buy a larger cover. And insurance's main business is to cover the risk, not savings, isn't it? What type of bond? Bond is basically, it's a kind of debt. So we discussed this in the previous class as to what kind of bond, fixed deposit bond, or when the government borrows money from us, it gives in return a bond. Okay. So which bond type does not pay an interest? Zero coupon. Remember, coupon is interest. Coupon is interest. So with zero coupon, there will be zero interest. Okay, yeah. The Indian submarine INS Sindhuvir UMS Minne Tenkatu has recently been inducted with the Burmese or the Myanmarese Navy. This is Indian naval ship. Last year it was given to Myanmar by India, and Myanmar asked for it and we sold it actually. But we had to tailor make it for their needs, of course, and we had to train their staff as well, because it is Myanmar Navy's first submarine. Okay, so you could write a little about this. You could write this Sindhu Ghosh class or Sindhu class, Sindhu Ghosh class. Okay, there are plenty of these ships India has. So in these submarines, you could write Sindhuvir. This is Sindhuvir given away. Sindhu Dhwaja dash Sindhu Rakshak. I want you to write this because you could write this Sindhu Rakshak dash exploded. There was an explosion on this and it sank. Exploded and sank in 2013. Yeah, in 2013. There was on board an explosion while it was at anchor in Mumbai dock. A mysterious thing, it sank actually. Okay. You could write Sindhu Dhwaja, Sindhu Rakshak. You could write this Sindhu Raj. Yeah, one last one, Sindhu Raj. चलो एक और लिखते हैं सिंधु कीर्ति. I think we discussed all these countries in the recent past, in the last two classes or so. So, not much to discuss, except that Thailand, I think we discussed this recently in the last class. So, Thailand's king is Maha Vajira Longkorn. This is the king's name. Prime Minister is Pradyut Chan-o-cha. This is king. This is PM. Currency is baht. Okay, that's it, guys. Capital is Bangkok, you all know this. The 9th edition of the International Sand Art Festival took place in Chandrabhaga Beach in Odisha. It normally happens in Odisha. So, yeah, Andhra. Chief Ministers, we all know this. This place is India's smallest state by area. Smallest by area. Pramod Sawant. Pramod Sawant. Dash, in partnership with the Indian Ministry of Commerce and Industry, organized the 6th India CLMB Business Conclave in December 2020. CIA. Confederation of Indian Industry. You could write this. Confederation of Indian Industry. Let me spell it here. Confederation of Indian Industry. Dash. President Uday Kotak. Uday Kotak. Next. This one is Association of Indian Chambers of Commerce and Industry. Indian Chambers of Commerce and Industry. The president here is Vinit Agarwal. Vinit Agarwal. Then FICCI, we'll take one more. FICCI, Federation of Indian Chambers of Commerce and Industry. This is association. Okay, never mind. Associated Chambers of Commerce and Industry, not association. Associated. This is Federation of Indian Chambers of Commerce and Industry. Federation of Indian Chambers of Commerce and Industry. President Uday Shankar. ITPO is, don't write this ITPO. If you want to write Indian Trade Promotion Organization. Indian Trade Promotion Organization. ITPO. Indian Trade Promotion Organization. Next. Last one, TPCI. Trade Promotion Council of India. Trade Promotion Council of India. And if you want to know the full name of this CLF, full form here, C for Cambodia, 4 countries east of Thailand. Cambodia, Laos, oh, Myanmar is there, okay, not east of India, east of Thailand. Then Vietnam. So 4 countries. Cambodia, Laos, Myanmar, Vietnam. 4 countries, guys. Only Thailand is missing from this. Oh, it's been a very long session today. Thanks for being with me. My name is Bharat. Have a lot of fun. Thanks again. Stay curious, my friends.